Hi viewers, welcome to episode 4 of the Delegate reality TV show. As we have already seen, council members have presented their opening statements. The Secretariat, in all fairness, has decided to invite the Ambassador of Sudan to present his government side of the story. Council members will also have the opportunity to question the Sudanese ambassador about issues raised in the opening statement. We will also have more delegate profiles being presented. Enjoy the show.
My name is gyimah-danquah. I am 14 years of age and I'm in 3B in Queenstown International School.
My name is Vanessa Danquah. I'm in Form 3. Kwesi is determined. He's really purposeful in Queensland and he has this can-do spirit. When he sets his mind to something, he makes sure he achieves it. My motivation to Kwesi is that he should be determined and he should set his mind to achieve the goal and he can win it.
My name is LIFELINK, student of Queenstown International School and also a good friend to Kwesi Okra. Kwesi Okra, as a friend, he's very helpful, creative, cooperative, intelligent, attentive in class, and helps us with co-curricular activities and also with academic work. I think he has a great shot of winning this competition class.
Excellencies, may I welcome you to this session. I am pleased to inform you that the Secretary General has been monitoring the discussions on this council and expresses his hope that we discuss the issues with all objectivity. I'm happy to inform you that the Secretariat have done their very best to get us the Sudanese ambassador, and I hereby invite the Sudanese ambassador to address the council, explaining to us what the situation in Sudan is. Honorable Ambassador, you have 10 minutes to address the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, fellow delegates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Sudan has been the location of Africa's longest civil war, a conflict between the mostly Arab Muslim population in the north and the mostly black Christian population in the south. While this war was raging, a new crisis emerged in Sudan's Darfur region, which soon made Darfur the site of the worst violence and oppression in all of Sudan. Mr. President, the conflict in Darfur began in February 2003, when a rebel group attacked government-controlled areas. There were several rebel groups fighting the government. The largest of these rebel groups were the Sudan People's Liberation Army, SPLA, and the Justice Equality Movement, GEM. The most brutal militia is called the Janjaweed. The Janjaweed reportedly ride into villages on horsebacks, murder civilians, rape women, steal valuables, and burn houses. The Sudanese government states that it does not support the Janjaweed, but human rights groups disagree. And on behalf of my president, I would like, with all due respect, to clearly state that the Sudanese government does not support the Janjaweed militia. Some countries have suggested that the Security Council should impose sanctions against the Sudanese oil, which will hurt Sudan's economy gravely. Mr. President, the Southern Sudanese, many of whom want to secede, will be given the opportunity to vote about whether to remain part of Sudan or become their own country. This vote is likely to be a source of conflict in the future. Mr. President, fellow delegates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just as the rest of Sudan was preparing for a ceasefire, Darfur was becoming even more unsafe. The violence was so severe that neither the UN nor other organizations were able to provide aid. In order for the peace agreement to work, Sudan will need the support of the international community, the AU, and the tribal leaders. Cooperation between the rebel and government leaders will also be needed. Thank you, Mr. President.
I can see the colors of a rainbow, and I can feel the sun on my face. I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Thank you very much, Honorable Delegates from Sudan. Delegate from Sudan, you still have 8 minutes. What do you wish to do with your time?
I yield my time for questions.
Delegate from Sudan has yielded his time to questions. Council, we've just heard from the ambassador. Are there any points of information for the delegate from Sudan? Mexico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to know from the delegate of Sudan why his government does not want the UN to send peacekeeping forces to Darfur. Thank you.
Sudan.
The reason why the militias or the rebel groups don't want the UN and AU to send peacekeepers to help maintain the peace is because if they do, it will be as though one was adding petrol to already burning fire.
Thank you very much, Honorable Delegate from Sudan. But if I heard Mexico right, were you referring to the militia or were you referring to government?
I'm referring to the government.
Yes, so Sudan, will you address the issue of government?
Thank you, Mr. President. The reason why the government also does not want the UN in our country is because if they come, it will just spark more war, and we want the war to end.
Brazil.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise on the point of information. As the delegate of Sudan stated, the government is not in support of the Janjaweed militia. But there are rumors going around, not only in Africa, but all over the world, that the government is strongly supporting the Janjaweed militia. What is the government doing to prove that it's not supporting such militias?
What the government of Sudan is actually doing is that it is holding talks with the leaders of the Janjaweed militia to help stop this, to try to come to a compromise. But unfortunately, when we have these talks with the leaders of the Janjaweed militias, sources go around telling others that we actually finance them with military aid, etc.
Gabon.
I rise on the point of information. I would like to ask the delegate from Sudan if the government has captured any of the Janjaweed militia. If yes, how many? And if no, why haven't they yet captured them or taken them into custody? Thank you.
The Sudanese government has not yet captured any Janjaweed militia men. This is simply because if we are to do so, the Janjaweed militia are going to increase their violence on the northern and southern states of Sudan.
Over 20 years ago, Osama bin Laden was resident in Sudan. What do you have to say about this?
I would like to know where the delegate from the United States got this information from.
Hold on, delegate from the USA. Do you dispute this assertion, or do you think it's true? If you dispute it, tell us what really the case is.
I dispute this, but I would not like to make any comments about this because this is a very important case we're talking about there. So I think it's best they just take it as a rumor. Thank you, Mr. President.
Japan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to know from the delegates from Sudan that the UN sent the Sudanese government to disarm the Janjaweed, and we haven't gotten any positive response. I would like to know why.
As we speak, attempts are still made to help control the Janjaweed, but the reason why no positive thing has come out of this attempt is because the Sudanese government is mostly made up of Arabs, and the Janjaweed militia men are also Arabs. So there are great concerns with corruption. So another problem the Sudanese government is dealing with is corruption.
Thank you very much, Sudan. Uganda.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a point of information. I'd like to ask the delegates of Sudan that if he doesn't want troops in his country, what then does he want to be done about the war? Thank you.
In other words, Sudan, how do you think this can be solved?